Emperor Deho sat on his golden throne in the great hall of Valthos Prime. The massive room was filled with his advisors and generals. Outside the tall windows, he could see 3 moons hanging in the purple sky. His empire ruled 847 worlds across the galaxy. No one had ever said no to the Valtherian Empire. General Wu Jin stepped forward with a datapad in his hands. His blue skin gleamed under the bright lights. "My Emperor, our scouts have found something interesting. There is a small planet called Earth in the Sol system. It has many valuable resources." Science Minister So Young nodded her head. Her white hair was pulled back tight. "The planet is rich with rare metals and clean water. The air is perfect for most species. The beings living there call themselves humans. They seem very primitive." Emperor Deho leaned forward in his throne. "Tell me more about these humans." "They have no faster-than-light travel," General Wu Jin said. "Their weapons are simple. They fight among themselves constantly. Their governments cannot agree on anything. They should be easy to conquer." So Young touched her datapad. A hologram appeared in the air. It showed Earth spinning slowly. The humans have only been in space for a few decades. They have small stations around their planet and one tiny colony on their moon. We could take their world in days. Emperor Deho smiled. Another world for his empire. Another species to serve him. Excellent. Begin preparations for... The great doors of the hall burst open. Ambassador Kyungmin ran inside. His usually calm face was full of worry. Behind him came 3 very strange beings. The first visitor looked like it was made of living crystal. Light moved through its body like flowing water. The second was a cloud of purple gas held together by some invisible force. The third was pure energy in the shape of a tall figure. "My Emperor," Kyungmin said, breathing hard. "These are representatives from the Etherian Council, the Nebulite Collective, and the Architects of Light. They have traveled very far to give us a warning." Emperor Deho had heard of these ancient races. They were older than his empire. Much older. They rarely spoke to anyone. "What warning?" The crystal being stepped forward. When it spoke, its voice sounded like singing bells. "Great Emperor of the Valtherians, we have come to tell you something very important. Do not go to the world called Earth. Do not attack the humans. Leave them alone." General Wu Jin laughed. "Why should we fear such a primitive species?" The gas cloud moved closer. Its voice was like wind through caves. "We have met humans before. They are not what they seem. They are dangerous in ways you cannot understand." The energy being raised its hand. Pictures appeared in the air above them. They showed human soldiers moving through strange landscapes. The humans looked small and weak, but something about them made Emperor Deho feel uncomfortable. "These are old recordings," the energy being said. Its voice crackled like lightning. "The last time someone tried to conquer humanity. The humans had even more primitive weapons then. But they still won." So Young studied the pictures. "I do not see anything special about them. They look like any other primitive species." The crystal being's light grew brighter. "That is what everyone thinks at first. Humans look peaceful. They grow plants and care for small animals. They make art and music. But when someone threatens them, they become something else entirely." "What do you mean?" Emperor Deho asked. The gas cloud swirled faster. "They become apex predators. They fight with a fury that burns cold. They will keep fighting even when they are dying. They will never give up, never surrender, never stop." The energy being showed more pictures. These showed human cities. Everything looked normal until Emperor Deho noticed something strange. Every human building could be turned into a fortress. Every street could become a battlefield. Even their schools had places to hide weapons. "Look closer," the energy being said. "Humans do not just build cities. They build battlegrounds waiting to happen. Their entire civilization is ready for war at any moment." General Wu Jin waved his hand. "These are just stories. We have conquered 847 worlds. We have never met a species we could not defeat." The crystal being's light dimmed. "That is because you have been lucky. You have never met a species like humanity. They are what we call a catalyst species. They do not just fight wars. They end them forever." "What does that mean?" Emperor Deho asked. The gas cloud moved closer to the throne. "Every empire that has tried to conquer humanity has either been destroyed or forced to change completely. The humans do not just win wars. They make sure the people who started the wars can never start another one." Ambassador Kyungmin stepped forward. "My Emperor, these 3 civilizations have no reason to lie to us. They have survived for millions of years. If they say humans are dangerous, we should listen. Emperor Deho stood up from his throne. His red robes flowed around him. I have heard your warning, but I am not afraid of some primitive species that cannot even travel between stars. The energy being's form flickered. We tried to warn others before you. They all said the same thing. They all regretted not listening. Show me proof, Emperor Deho demanded. Show me how these humans could possibly threaten my empire. The crystal being's light grew very dim. The proof will come when you attack them. But by then it will be too late, so... Young pulled up her data again. My Emperor, Earth is rich with resources. The humans number only a few billion. We have trillions of soldiers across our empire. Even if these warnings are true, we have overwhelming numbers. General Wu Jin nodded. Our technology is centuries ahead of theirs. Our ships can destroy their entire civilization from space. They cannot even reach us to fight back. The gas cloud made a sound like wind through broken glass. That is what the Karathan Empire said. They had ships that could crack planets. The humans still destroyed them. Where is this Karathan Empire now? Emperor Deho asked. The three ancient beings looked at each other. The energy being answered. Gone, completely gone. The humans did not just defeat them, they made sure the Korathans could never threaten anyone again. Not destroyed, changed. The Korathans became a peaceful species that explores the galaxy and helps other civilizations. They are grateful to the humans now. Emperor Deho laughed. You want me to believe that primitive humans changed an entire empire? It is what they do, the crystal being said sadly. Humans do not conquer. They liberate. They turn enemies into friends. They make slave races into free peoples, and they make empires like yours disappear. Ambassador Kyungmin looked around the room. My Emperor, perhaps we should consider their words carefully. What if they are right? Emperor Deho's eyes flashed with anger. I am the ruler of 847 worlds. My empire has lasted for 1,000 years. I will not be frightened by stories about some primitive planet. He turned to General Wu Jin. How long would it take to prepare our first conquest fleet? 3 months, my Emperor. 50 ships and 200,000 soldiers should be more than enough. The three ancient beings began to fade away. The crystal being spoke one last time. We have given you our warning, Emperor Deho. What you do with it is your choice. But remember our words when your empire begins to fall. They disappeared, leaving only empty air. Ambassador Kyungmin looked at Emperor Deho with worried eyes. My Emperor, please reconsider. These beings have no reason to lie to us. Emperor Deho sat back down on his throne. They fear competition. They want to keep this rich world for themselves. I will not be fooled by their tricks. He looked at General Wu Jin and So Young. Begin preparations immediately. In 3 months, Earth will belong to the Valtherian Empire. As his advisors hurried away to follow his orders, Emperor Deho stared out at the 3 moons. He was sure he was making the right choice. He had no idea that he had just signed the death warrant for his 1,000-year-old empire. Admiral Tae-sung stood on the bridge of his flagship as it dropped out of faster-than-light travel. Through the main viewing screen, he could see a small yellow star with several planets orbiting around it. The third planet from the star was blue and green. That was Earth. Report, he said to his communications officer. All ships have arrived safely, Admiral. 50 warships and 200,000 soldiers are ready for the conquest, Commander Boram replied. Her fingers danced over the control panel. Admiral Tae-sung nodded. This was his 23rd conquest. He knew exactly how it would go. First, he would demand surrender. Then he would destroy a few military targets to show the humans how powerful his fleet was. Finally, the human leaders would give up and beg for mercy. It always worked the same way. Open a channel to the entire planet, he ordered. Dr. Hye Jin, the fleet's language expert, worked at her station. Channel open, Admiral. I have translated our message into the main human languages. Admiral Tae-sung stepped forward. His voice was calm and confident. People of Earth, I am Admiral Tae-sung of the Valtherian Empire. Your world now belongs to us. Surrender immediately and you will be treated fairly. Resist and you will be destroyed. You have 1 hour to respond. The message was sent to Earth. Admiral Tae-sung sat in his command chair and waited. In 1 hour, human leaders would contact him to discuss the terms of their surrender. They always did, but something strange happened instead. Admiral, Boram said, her voice confused. I am receiving hundreds of communications from Earth. Not from their leaders, from their military forces. What are they saying? Dr. Hyjin listened to the messages coming from the planet. Her face grew pale. Admiral, they are not surrendering. Every human military force on the planet has declared war on us. Admiral Tae-sung frowned. War. They must not understand how outmatched they are. Destroy one of their military bases. A small one. That will make them think more clearly. The fleet's weapons officer selected a target. Human naval base in their Pacific Ocean. Firing now. Bright energy beams shot down from space. The human base disappeared in a ball of fire. Admiral Tae-sung waited for the surrender message to come. Instead, more war declarations arrived. This makes no sense, Dr. Hyjin said. Every human nation on the planet is mobilizing for war. Not just their armies, everyone. They are converting their factories to make weapons. They are training civilians to fight. Admiral Tae-sung had never seen anything like this before. Show me what they are doing. The main screen switched to images from Earth's surface. Admiral Tae-sung watched in amazement. Instead of panic, the humans were organizing. Families were saying goodbye to each other, but not with fear. They looked determined. Old humans were teaching young ones how to fight. Factories that made cars were now making weapons. Admiral, Dr. Hyjin said slowly, I am intercepting human communications. They are saying strange things, and such as, they keep talking about historical events. They mention places like Alamo and Stalingrad and Thermopylae, but those were battles where the defenders lost. Why would they find inspiration in defeats? Commander Boram pulled up intelligence reports. Admiral, our scans show that every human city is being fortified. They are building defenses everywhere. Even their schools and hospitals are being prepared for battle. This was not going according to plan. Admiral Tae-sung had conquered worlds where the people fought back, but never like this. Usually some fought while others surrendered. The humans seemed to be choosing war with one voice. Send down the first landing force, he ordered. Captain Dong-hyun, take 1,000 soldiers and capture that small military outpost on the largest continent. Show these humans what Valtharian soldiers can do. Captain Dong-hyun led his troops down to Earth's surface in fast attack ships. The human outpost he was attacking had maybe 50 soldiers. His force had 1,000 elite warriors with advanced weapons and armor. It should take less than an hour. 3 hours later, Admiral Tae-sung was still waiting for Captain Dong-hyun's victory report. Admiral, Boram said, her voice tight with worry, I am receiving a distress signal from the landing force. Put it through. Captain Dong-hyun's voice came over the speakers. He sounded tired and confused. Admiral, we need immediate medical evacuation. We have 847 casualties. Admiral Tae-sung nearly fell out of his chair. What happened? Did they have hidden defenses? No, sir. Just 50 human soldiers with primitive weapons. But Admiral, they fought like nothing I have ever seen. They would not retreat even when wounded. They would not surrender even when surrounded. Some of them kept fighting after taking hits that should have killed them. Dr. Hyjin was monitoring more human communications. Admiral, the humans are sending messages to each other. They are celebrating. They say they killed 800 Valtharian soldiers while losing only 23 of their own. That is impossible, Admiral Tae-sung said. Captain Dong-hyun's voice continued. Sir, these humans do not fight like any species we have encountered. When we destroyed their vehicles, they kept fighting on foot. When we destroyed their weapons, they picked up rocks and pieces of metal. One human soldier charged at our position with a damaged weapon that was clearly going to explode. He used it as a bomb. Admiral Tae-sung stared at the reports coming in. This was supposed to be the easy part. Ground combat should favor his advanced troops. Instead, his soldiers were being beaten by primitive humans. Captain, what is your tactical assessment? There was a long pause. Admiral, I recommend we avoid ground combat with humans unless absolutely necessary. They do not follow normal military logic. They fight as if dying in battle is preferable to losing. More reports came in from other small skirmishes around the planet. Every engagement was the same story. Valtharian technological superiority meant nothing when the humans refused to act defeated. Dr. Hyjin intercepted another human message. This one was being broadcast to their entire planet. Admiral, you need to hear this. A human voice spoke in clear, determined tones. Citizens of Earth, the aliens thought we would surrender after they destroyed one of our bases. They thought we would be afraid of their superior technology. They were wrong. We have sent them a message written in the only language bullies understand. We are not afraid of them. We will never surrender to them. And if they want a war, we will give them one they will never forget. Admiral Tae-sung realized that everything he thought he knew about conquest was wrong. The humans were not acting like any species he had ever encountered. They seemed to welcome the chance to fight against impossible odds. "Sir," Boram said quietly, "I recommend we request reinforcements from the Empire." Admiral Tae-sung looked at the blue and green planet on his screen. 50 of the Empire's finest warships hung in space around it. 200,000 elite soldiers were ready for battle. By every military calculation, Earth should already be conquered. Instead, the humans had turned their entire world into a fortress. They were converting their peaceful civilization into a war machine. And they were doing it with something Admiral Tae-sung had never seen before in a conquered species: joy. "Open a channel to Valthos Prime," he ordered. "Emergency priority." When Emperor Daeho's image appeared on the screen, Admiral Tae-sung tried to find the right words. "My Emperor, I need to make an urgent request. Send the 2nd and 3rd Conquest fleets immediately." "What is the problem, Admiral? Are there more humans than we thought?" "No, my Emperor. There are exactly as many humans as we expected. That is the problem. They are not surrendering. They are not afraid. They are not acting like any species we have ever conquered." Emperor Daeho frowned. "Explain." Admiral Tae-sung looked at his tactical displays. Every human city was now a fortress. Every human civilian was now a potential soldier. The entire planet had transformed itself for war in just a few hours. "My Emperor," he said slowly, "I think those ancient aliens were trying to warn us about something we do not understand. The humans are not just fighting us. They are enjoying it." Emperor Daeho sent 2 more fleets to Earth. Admiral Tae-sung now commanded 600,000 soldiers and 150 warships. Surely this would be enough to crush the human resistance. But 6 months later, the situation had only gotten worse. Colonel Yoon-soo stood in the fleet's main laboratory, staring at a collection of human weapons. Her team of scientists worked around her, trying to understand what they were seeing. "Admiral," she said into her communicator, "you need to see this immediately." Admiral Tae-sung arrived quickly. "What have you found, Colonel?" Colonel Yoon-soo picked up a human rifle. This weapon was captured from human forces 3 months ago. It was primitive compared to our technology. She set it down and picked up another weapon. This one was captured last week from the same human unit. Admiral Tae-sung examined both weapons. They looked completely different. The second one was sleeker, more advanced, and had features he did not recognize. "How is this possible?" he asked. "The humans are learning, Admiral. Not just learning, they are improving our technology. This weapon fires faster than our standard rifles. It uses less energy but does more damage. And Admiral, they built it using parts from our own destroyed vehicles." Dr. Hyojin entered the laboratory with a datapad in her hands. "Admiral, I have been studying human communications. They have something they call the Internet. It lets them share information instantly across their entire planet. So, every time we attack them, they immediately tell all other humans exactly what we did and how we did it. Every human military unit learns from every battle instantly. They are adapting to our tactics faster than we can develop new ones." Admiral Tae-sung felt a chill run down his spine. "Show me." Dr. Hyojin activated a holographic display. It showed a map of Earth with thousands of glowing lines connecting different locations. "This is their communication network. When we attacked this city in the morning, by afternoon, every human force on the planet knew our attack patterns. They had already developed countermeasures." Colonel Yoon-soo nodded. "It gets worse, Admiral. The humans are not just copying our technology. They are fixing its weaknesses. This armor plating they developed can stop our standard energy weapons. This communication device has better range than ours." Captain Junho entered the room. His armor was damaged and his face was grim. "Admiral, I have just returned from the attack on the human research facility." "Report." "We destroyed the facility, but not before the humans evacuated most of their equipment." "Admiral, they were not just studying our technology in there. They were making it better. Much better." Captain Junho activated his own datapad. Images appeared in the air showing weapons and vehicles that looked both human and Valtherian. "They have created hybrid technology, Admiral. Human design principles combined with our advanced materials. These vehicles are faster than ours. These weapons are more accurate than ours, and they are manufacturing them in factories across their planet." Admiral Tae-sung studied the images with growing alarm. "How many factories?" "We estimate over 10,000, Admiral. Every human city has converted its manufacturing to military production. They are producing more equipment in 1 month than most civilized worlds produce in a year. Dr. Nari, the fleet's military psychologist, requested permission to speak. She had been studying captured human soldiers for months. Admiral, I have completed my psychological evaluation of human prisoners. My findings are deeply troubling. Explain. Dr. Nari looked at her notes with a confused expression. Admiral, these humans do not think like any species we have encountered. When I ask them why they do not surrender to our superior forces, they give answers that make no logical sense. Such as, they say things like, freedom is worth dying for and death before dishonor. They are not fighting for territory or resources. They are fighting for ideas, abstract concepts that exist only in their minds. Admiral Taesung frowned. Ideas cannot stop energy weapons. That is what I thought, Admiral. But ideas can make soldiers do impossible things. The humans I interviewed would rather die than live under our rule. Not some of them. All of them. Dr. Nari showed him recordings of her interviews. Human soldiers, wounded and captured, still spoke with defiance. They showed no fear of death. Some of them even seemed disappointed that they had been captured instead of killed. Admiral, these humans have something we have never encountered before. They have weaponized their own extinction instinct. They fight better when they think they are going to die. Lieutenant Commander Young-soo rushed into the laboratory with urgent news. Admiral, the humans have launched their first space attack. What? That is impossible. They do not have faster-than-light travel. They used our own ships, Admiral. Captured vessels that they have modified. They attacked our supply depot in the asteroid belt. Admiral Taesung felt his heart sink. What were the results? The depot is completely destroyed, Admiral. But that is not the worst part. The human commander, a man named Park, rammed his damaged ship into our largest supply vessel. He could have ejected safely, but he chose to die to cause maximum damage to our forces. Dr. Nari nodded grimly. This is what I was trying to explain, Admiral. Normal soldiers try to survive. Human soldiers try to win, even if it means dying. The reports kept getting worse. Humans had turned every city into a fortress. Every civilian had become a potential fighter. Even their children were being taught military tactics alongside regular school subjects. But the most disturbing reports came from the Valtherian colony worlds. Admiral, Dr. Hyjin said, I am receiving communications from our outer colonies. The humans have somehow contacted other alien species. They are telling them about our invasion of Earth. What are they saying? They are asking for help. But not just military help. They are sharing their technology and tactics with any species that wants to resist imperial conquest. Admiral Taesung realized what this meant. The humans were not just fighting for their own world. They were trying to start a galaxy-wide rebellion against the Valtherian Empire. Colonel Yoon-soo made the most alarming discovery of all. Admiral, the humans have achieved something that should be impossible. They have developed faster-than-light communication. How? They studied our communication equipment and improved it. Their version is faster and more reliable than ours. Admiral, they are now in contact with human settlements throughout this solar system that we did not even know existed. Admiral Taesung looked at all the reports scattered around the laboratory. 6 months ago, he had been facing a primitive species with no space travel. Now he was fighting an enemy that was rapidly becoming more advanced than his own empire. Dr. Nari, in your professional opinion, can these humans be defeated? Dr. Nari was quiet for a long moment. Admiral, I have studied the psychology of hundreds of species. I have never encountered anything like humanity. They do not fight to win territory. They fight to protect ideas, and ideas cannot be killed with weapons. What do you recommend? Immediate withdrawal and peace negotiations, Admiral. These humans cannot be conquered by conventional means. They can only be destroyed completely. And even then, I believe they would find a way to hurt us badly before they died. Admiral Taesung sent an emergency message to Emperor Daeho. My Emperor, the situation on Earth has changed dramatically. The humans are no longer a primitive species. They have become a technological equal with military capabilities we cannot match. Emperor Daeho's response came quickly and angrily. Admiral, you have the largest fleet in the Empire's history. Stop making excuses and finish the conquest. My Emperor, with respect, I believe we should consider the warnings we received from the ancient civilizations. The humans are exactly what they said they would be. I do not want to hear about warnings, Admiral. I want to hear about victory. Complete the conquest of Earth, or I will find an admiral who will. Admiral Taesung ended the communication and looked out at the blue and green planet that had become his nightmare. The humans had turned their entire civilization into a war machine in just 6 months. They were improving their technology daily. They were spreading their resistance to other worlds. And worst of all, they were clearly enjoying the fight. Dr. Nari, he said quietly, what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object? In human philosophy, Admiral, the question assumes that one of those things is not what it appears to be. Admiral Taesung had a terrible feeling that his empire was about to discover which one. Emperor Daeho made the biggest mistake in Valtherian history. He sent the entire Imperial Navy to Earth. 2,000 warships filled the space around the small blue planet. 5 million Valtherian soldiers waited in their ships ready to end the human resistance once and for all. Crown Prince Ji-hoon commanded the massive fleet from his flagship. Father, the young prince said over the communication link, surely this overwhelming force will convince the humans to surrender. Emperor Daeho's image flickered on the screen. End this war, my son. Use whatever force is necessary. The Empire's reputation depends on victory. Crown Prince Ji-hoon looked out at Earth with confidence. No species in galactic history had ever faced such a massive military force. The humans would have to surrender now. He was completely wrong. Admiral Subin, the fleet's science officer, made the first disturbing discovery. Your Highness, the humans have done something impossible. They have contacted alien civilizations we have never heard of. Explain. They have somehow sent messages to dozens of species across the galaxy, not just nearby systems. Civilizations thousands of light years away are receiving human communications. Crown Prince Ji-hoon frowned. What are they saying? Admiral Subin looked uncomfortable. They are warning other species about our empire. They are telling them about our conquest methods. And Your Highness, they are sharing military technology and tactics. The first sign of real trouble came when Captain Hyunwoo led an attack on what should have been an isolated human outpost on Mars. Instead of finding a small research station, his forces encountered a fully armed military base with weapons that made no sense. Your Highness, Captain Hyunwoo reported, the humans have somehow fortified their entire solar system. Not just Earth. Every planet, every moon, every asteroid has defensive capabilities. How is that possible? Our intelligence said they had only small research stations. The intelligence was correct 6 months ago, Your Highness. But the humans have been very busy. They have built weapons platforms throughout their solar system using our own captured technology. General Inho prepared for the main assault on Earth itself. He commanded 1 million soldiers, the largest invasion force in Valtherian history. Surely nothing could stand against such overwhelming numbers. But when his ships approached Earth, something incredible happened. Every human on the planet seemed to be fighting. Not just their soldiers. Everyone. Your Highness, General Inho reported, the humans have done something we have never seen before. Their entire civilization has become military. Their factories produce weapons 24 hours a day. Their schools teach children military tactics. Their elderly citizens serve as strategic advisors. Crown Prince Ji-hoon watched the tactical displays in amazement. Every human city had become a fortress. Every human civilian had become a potential warrior. The entire planet was one giant military base. Lieutenant Colonel Yansu made an even more alarming discovery. Your Highness, I have intercepted human communications with unknown recipients. The humans are not just talking to each other anymore. Who are they talking to? Other alien civilizations, Your Highness. Dozens of them. Species we have never heard of are responding to human messages. They are offering help. Dr. Haewon, the fleet's biological expert, studied captured human soldiers and made a discovery that changed everything. Your Highness, these humans are not like other species we have conquered. In what way? They are biologically adapted for war, Your Highness. Their bodies produce chemicals that help them fight better under extreme stress. Their brains continue working even when they are badly injured. Most importantly, they can function normally even after experiencing severe trauma. Crown Prince Ji-hoon felt a chill.
Are you saying they are a warrior species?
More than that, Your Highness. They are a species that has evolved to survive and win impossible conflicts. Every human I have studied shows the same psychological pattern. They become more dangerous when they are losing. The turning point came when the humans launched something they called Operation Prometheus. Simultaneously, Human forces attacked 3 different Valtherian colony worlds using captured Imperial Navy ships. Crown Prince Ji-hoon received the first report from Valthos 7. Your Highness, human forces have attacked our mining colony. They destroyed our military installations and freed all the slave workers. Are they trying to conquer the colony? No, Your Highness. They destroyed our ability to fight back, freed the slaves, and then left. But they left a message. What message? The communication officer played the recording. A human voice spoke in perfect Valtherian. You came to our home uninvited. Now we come to yours. This is just the beginning. Free your slaves and end your empire, or we will end it for you. Similar reports came from the other attacked colonies. In each case, the humans had not tried to conquer territory. They had simply destroyed Valtherian military power and freed enslaved populations. But the most shocking part was what happened next. The freed slaves did not ask for Valtherian protection. They asked the humans to teach them how to fight. Crown Prince Ji-hoon realized that the humans had done something no enemy of the Empire had ever managed. They had turned the Empire's own subjects against them. Your Highness, Admiral Subin reported, I am receiving communications from 17 different colony worlds. The slave populations are rebelling. They are using human weapons and human tactics. How did they get human weapons? The humans are giving them away, Your Highness. They are sharing their technology with any species that wants to resist Imperial conquest. Dr. Haewon made another disturbing discovery. Your Highness, the humans have done something unprecedented. They have created what they call a liberation alliance. What does that mean? They have convinced dozens of alien species to work together against us. Not just to defend themselves, but to actively free other enslaved worlds. The humans have turned resistance into a crusade. Crown Prince Ji-hoon watched his tactical displays as red warning lights appeared throughout Valtherian space. Colony after colony was reporting rebellion. Slave species that had served the Empire for centuries were suddenly fighting for freedom using human technology and human tactics. The worst news came when Lieutenant General Dongmin attempted to retake one of the rebelling colonies. Your Highness, the rebel forces are not just using human weapons. They are using human strategy. They fight like humans now. What do you mean? They would rather die than surrender, Your Highness. They fight with the same impossible determination we have seen from the humans themselves. It is as if the humans have infected them with their own psychology. Crown Prince Ji-hoon realized that his father had made a terrible mistake. The Empire was not just fighting humans anymore. They were fighting an idea that was spreading throughout the galaxy like a virus. Contact Emperor Daeho, he ordered. Emergency priority. When his father's image appeared, Crown Prince Ji-hoon struggled to find the right words. Father, the situation has changed completely. We are not fighting just Earth anymore. We are fighting a galaxy-wide rebellion. Explain. The humans have done something we never expected, Father. They have convinced our own slaves to fight against us. Every world we attack, 10 more rebel. Every ship we destroy, 20 new ones join the human alliance. Emperor Daeho's face grew dark with anger. You have the entire Imperial Navy. Crush this rebellion. Father, I fear we have made a mistake that cannot be corrected. The humans are not trying to conquer our empire. They are trying to destroy the idea of empire itself. That is impossible. Crown Prince Ji-hoon looked at his displays showing rebellions across dozens of worlds. Father, I believe the ancient aliens were trying to warn us about exactly this. The humans do not just fight wars. They end the civilizations that start them. Before Emperor Daeho could respond, alarms began sounding throughout the flagship. Admiral Subin rushed to Crown Prince Ji-hoon with urgent news. Your Highness, human forces have appeared throughout our solar system. They are not attacking our worlds. They are broadcasting to our people. What are they saying? They are offering freedom to any Valtherian who wants it. They are telling our own citizens that they do not have to live under imperial rule. Your Highness, some of our people are listening. Crown Prince Ji-hoon realized that the unthinkable was happening. The Empire was not just losing territory. It was losing the loyalty of its own people. The humans had done something that no enemy had ever managed in 1,000 years of Valtherian conquest. They had made the idea of empire itself seem wrong. 2 years after the first Valtherian ship entered Earth's solar system, Emperor Daeho sat alone in his throne room. Outside his windows, the 3 moons still hung in the purple sky, but everything else had changed. Admiral Kyung-soo stood before the throne with reports that read like a nightmare. She had taken command of what remained of the Imperial Navy after Crown Prince Ji-hoon died in a human ambush. My Emperor, she said quietly, I must give you the final strategic assessment. Emperor Deho looked older than his years. The past months had aged him terribly. Tell me, the Valtharian Empire no longer exists as a functioning government. 13 major worlds have declared independence. The Imperial Navy has lost 70% of its ships. Most of our remaining colonies are in open rebellion. Emperor Deho closed his eyes. How many loyal worlds do we still control? 47, my Emperor. And that number decreases every day. General Sujin entered the throne room with more bad news. Her armor was damaged from recent fighting. My Emperor, the human liberation forces have reached the inner colonies. They are not conquering our worlds. They are freeing them. What does that mean? They arrive at each world with ships from dozens of different species. They destroy our military installations but do not harm civilians. Then they offer every enslaved population the choice to join their alliance or govern themselves freely. Emperor Daiho had heard this same report from dozens of worlds. The humans did not create an empire to replace his. They simply ended the concept of empire entirely. Dr. Min Ho, the empire's chief psychologist, requested permission to speak. His final report on human psychology had taken months to complete. My Emperor, I have finished my study of human behavior. My conclusions are absolute. Humans are what the ancient civilizations warned us they were. Explain. Humans do not fight wars to gain territory or resources, my Emperor. They fight to spread ideas. The idea that no being should be enslaved. The idea that all species should be free to govern themselves. The idea that conquest itself is wrong. Dr. Minho activated a holographic display, showing the spread of rebellion throughout former Valtharian space. My Emperor, humans are a catalyst species. They do not just resist oppression. They transform resistance into revolution. Every species they contact becomes infected with their ideas about freedom. Can this process be stopped? No, my Emperor. Ideas cannot be killed with weapons. The humans have convinced hundreds of species that freedom is worth dying for. Once a species believes that, they become unconquerable. Emperor Daiho remembered the warnings from the ancient civilizations. They had tried to tell him exactly this, but he had been too proud to listen. Ambassador Kyung-min entered the throne room. He had managed to re-establish contact with the Etherians, Nebulites, and Architects through secret channels. My Emperor, I have spoken with the 3 ancient civilizations. They have confirmed our worst fears. Tell me, they did not warn us about humans out of compassion for our empire, my Emperor. They warned us because they knew what would happen if we attacked Earth. Ambassador Kyung-min activated his communicator. The images of the 3 ancient beings appeared in the throne room, just as they had 2 years ago. The crystal being spoke first. Emperor Daiho, we tried to warn you. Humans are what we call a catalyst species. They do not just fight for their own freedom. They fight for the freedom of all beings. The gas cloud being swirled sadly, every empire that has tried to conquer humanity has faced the same fate. The humans do not just win wars. They end the civilizations that start them, the energy being flickered with what might have been sympathy. Your empire lasted 1,000 years, Emperor Daiho. It was impressive, but it was built on conquest and slavery. The humans have made such empires impossible. Emperor Daiho felt the weight of his failure. What happens to my people now? The crystal being's light grew warmer. That depends on you, Emperor. The humans have made an offer. What offer? Admiral Kyung-soo stepped forward with a communication device. My Emperor, Human Admiral Park, has sent a message. The brother of the commander who died attacking our supply depot. The device activated and a human face appeared. Admiral Park looked tired but determined. His voice was calm but firm. Emperor Daiho, your empire ends today, but your people do not have to suffer for your mistakes. Surrender now. Accept freedom for all your former subjects. Join the Galactic Liberation Alliance we are building. Choose peace and your people can live freely among the stars. Emperor Daiho stared at the human admiral. And if I refuse? Then you will face the consequences of continued war. Every day you delay, more of your worlds join our alliance voluntarily. Every day you fight, more of your people die for an empire that can no longer exist. The human admiral leaned forward. Emperor, we do not want to destroy the Valtharian people. We want to destroy the Valtharian Empire. There is a difference. Choose wisely. The communication ended. Emperor Daiho looked around his throne room at the advisors who had served him faithfully. They all waited for his decision. Admiral Kyung-soo spoke quietly. My Emperor, we cannot win this war. The humans have turned warfare itself into something we do not understand. They fight for ideas that make them stronger than any technology. General Su Jin nodded. Every battle we fight makes them stronger, my Emperor. Every world we attack joins their cause. We are not fighting an enemy we can defeat. Dr. Minho added his assessment. My Emperor, the humans have done something unprecedented in galactic history. They have made conquest morally impossible. Any species that tries to build an empire now will face the same fate we have faced. Emperor Deho stood up from his throne for the last time. Send a message to Admiral Park. I accept his terms. 3 months later, the former Emperor Deho lived quietly on a small world at the edge of what had once been his empire. He spent his days in a simple garden, growing flowers and vegetables. The Etherian ambassador visited him one final day. The crystal being sat beside him among the flowers. We tried to warn you, the ancient being said gently. Deho nodded. I was too proud to listen. I thought my empire was different. I thought we were stronger than everyone who had tried to conquer humans before us. Many have made the same mistake, the Etherian said. Humans do not just fight wars, former Emperor. They end them, forever. Deho looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, the Galactic Liberation Alliance was growing larger every day. Species that had been enslaved for millennia were now free. Worlds that had known only conquest were learning about cooperation. What are the humans building? He asked. Something that has never existed before, the Etherian replied. A galactic civilization based on freedom instead of conquest. A community of species that choose to work together instead of being forced to serve. Deho picked a flower and studied its simple beauty. And empires like mine? Impossible now, the Etherian said. The humans have changed the galaxy forever. No species will ever again accept conquest as natural. The age of empires is over. As the Etherian faded away, Deho understood what the ancient beings had tried to tell him. Humans were not just another species to be conquered. They were the end of conquest itself. Somewhere in the galaxy, on a small blue planet called Earth, humans continued their quiet work of turning warriors into gardeners and empires into communities. They had kept their promise to make the Valtherians regret not listening to the warnings, but they had also kept their promise to build something better from the ruins of the old empire. The galaxy was free, and it would remain free because humanity had made sure that no one would ever again ignore the warning, "Don't go to Earth."